you guys, it's Vallivon The Perfume Don back at you with another, yes, another fragrance video, okay? Come here, come closer. Very excited. So today we're going to be talking about a fragrance from one of my favorite fragrance houses of all time, okay? If you guys have been a subscriber of mine, if you've joined my Perfume Mafia, and if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe below. Join my Perfume Mafia, like this video, share this with someone else that really likes fragrance and wants to learn and grow their collection with me, Vallivon The Perfume Don, okay? Also hit me up on Instagram. It's Vallivon The Perfume Don on there. I post every day, and we can have a little bit more personal conversations, but always feel free to comment below. Today, if you've been following me for a while, you saw in the community tab that I share with you guys the super sexy CEO of this fragrance brand, Byredo. He is so hot, and he's just very beautiful. I think he's Indian. I don't know, Middle Eastern, but he's Swedish as well. Super hot CEO of this company. I just wanted to grace you guys with that beautiful sight. But let's get into the fragrance. So today we're going to be talking about Black Saffron. Black Saffron by Byredo. Ooh, love this. Eau de Parfum. One of my Perfume Mafia members sent me a sample. They blessed your girl with a sample of freaking Byredo. Love this fragrance. I was actually supposed to go live with them and like reveal and like talk about how I felt with everything. But then I looked at the bag. He's like, have you even looked at the bag yet? I was like, no. And I went and I looked at it and it had Byredo in there. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't wait. I have to smell this right now. And I'm so happy I did because this fragrance is magnificent. And you know how I know it's magnificent? It's not even something that I usually go for at all. I don't usually go for a scent like this. So let's get into the scent profile. For this scent, it's described as a leather, woody, fruity, aromatic, warm, spicy, sweet scent. I love it. Oh, it's so sexy, okay? It's so sexy. I'm going to tell you what the notes are, and then I'll tell you a few fragrances that I think it smells similar to, so you can kind of get in your mind, if you smell any of those fragrances, what it's similar to. So for the top notes, it has juniper berries. Juniper berries usually takes on more of like a piney, almost like a pine soil kind of, but not, not so chemical, but like a pine soil, like a fern, little bit green, leafy type of scent. It also has in the top notes saffron, of course. So that's going to be a little bit more of like a spicy element, or like an extremely spicy element. In the top notes, it also has a grapefruit note. The grapefruit note just adds it just adds a little bit of like a freshness, so it's not so heavy, so woody, so spicy. It just adds a little bit of like a twist in there, but it's not very prominent at all, I have to admit, the grapefruit note. Which I'm happy, because sometimes grapefruit can be a little bit sour, a little bit tart, but it doesn't do it in this fragrance. And the heart notes, it has leather, and then it also has black violet, okay? So the leather in there is not, you know what? It is prominent, but it's not in the sense of like, sometimes I feel like leather can be a little bit animalic in fragrances, but this one, it doesn't do that to me. It's a very nice leather. It just really adds like an edge and a masculine nature to this fragrance. I don't think I said it, but I think this fragrance is either unisex or specifically for men. I wouldn't describe this as a feminine scent at all. And that's why I said it's a departure from what I usually do. Now the violet in there, it just gives it some sexiness too. I wouldn't describe this as a floral fragrance at all, but it just has a little bit of sexiness with that black violet. In the base notes, it has cashmerian. This is a synthetic note. It was made up. Cashmerian, it usually just smells like a combination of kind of like amber. It just gives it like a little bit of like a depth to a fragrance. Kind of gives it like a coziness to it as well. And some warmth, which this fragrance has tons of. Between the saffron and the cashmere, it has tons of warmth. Another prominent note in this fragrance has to be the vetiver. And that's actually why my friends sent me these fragrances, because they want me to get into vetiver. And I have to admit, with this fragrance, You're twisting my arm. You're twisting my arm. If you've ever smelled the vetiver, how it's done in Nishane, 100 Silent Ways, is that as a base note. It smells very nice. Sometimes people say that vetiver can lean a little bit like dirty, dusty. I see why people say that, but I think it just gives it a little bit of like a grit, almost like a gritty nature. It just grounds it out. I don't want you to think you're going to be walking around smelling dusty. That's not what this is. For the last note in here is going to be that raspberry note. And that's why they say it's fruity. I don't think so. I think it's kind of similar to the group frag. The grapefruit note, to where it's not prominent. It just kind of rounds things out and leans it from being too masculine with the leather and the amber and the saffron spiciness. I think it just like swings it to the other side and uplifts it a little bit. I think it's very interesting that they have raspberry in the base notes, because usually you will see raspberry higher up on the food chain. You'll see it as a top note or a middle note. So I like how they really restructured this scent in that way, and that's why you're left a little bit with the dry down, a little bit of the sweetness of the raspberry, but not tons. This is not a sweet scent at all, and it doesn't have a very prominent. If you're looking for a berry note fragrance, like I just recently did my berry note fragrances, I wouldn't have included this one, even though it has raspberry in there, because it's not prominent at all. It definitely takes the back seat to the other more prominent fragrances in there, like the black violet, like the leather, like the vetiver, like the cashmerian, and like the saffron, okay? The juniper berry is quite prominent as well. This definitely smells very piney, very fern, very green. I think this is a great fragrance for fall, winter, but I wouldn't be mad at someone who rocked it during spring, summer. The good thing about Byredo scents, I feel like they don't do anything that's like too clawing or too heavy or too, I don't know how they do it, because they add a lot of notes, and they're strong notes and they're prominent notes, but something about Byredo's house, no fragrance is like overdone and a type of fragrance to where you just can't get rid of it. This one does, I think, sits very close to the skin. It becomes like a skin fragrance, but it definitely has like a trail that you'll leave. It definitely has a little bit of a trail that you'll leave. And the things that you're going to be left with after a few hours, it lasts a few hours, about 4 to 6 hours on me, depending on how you layer and your skin's moisturized and all those things, your body chemistry, but about 4 to 6 hours. But again, this is not a powerhouse. I feel like with the notes in there, it could become one if you're an oversprayer, if you freaking overspray. I do believe that this could become a powerhouse. But I mean, who would want to do that? I just love it. I feel like this has, if you're the kind of person that's into spicy scents, I would say go for it. I think if you're the kind of person that's into green scents, I would say go for it. Even, this one doesn't really have woody notes in there, but if you typically go for woody fragrances, I feel like you would really enjoy this fragrance as well. Like oud fragrances as well. I feel like you would be into this kind of scent. Now, the scent that it actually reminds me of is the leather in here reminds me of if you've smelled Guerlain La Petite Robe Noire, how that one kind of has like a smoky incense leather, that type of scent. That's what's in this one. It also really reminds me, for some reason, it reminds me of Tom Ford Velvet Orchid. I don't know, just kind of have like a really deep floral element with that spice in there. That's what it really reminds me of. So if you enjoy both of those, then you really like this scent. Also, I think that it really smells similar to, like they're not dupes at all. But if you enjoy Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash scent, then I feel like you would like this one as well. It has that spicy element, has kind of, there's no booze notes in here, but almost like that boozy nighttime in a bar type of scent. This is I would describe this as a sexy scent too. I can see a guy that's very artistic, a gallery owner, very posh, black turtleneck type of guy, nice shiny Oxford shoes, slacks, dress pants that are fitted. That type of guy that wears the horn-rimmed glasses. I can see him wearing this type of scent. The man's got taste, man's got flavor, man's got class. And for the price point, man's got money. Okay, because this fragrance is quite expensive, baby. But yeah, I have to say that I really like this, and I think that it'll be a very nice layering scent as well. If you want to deepen a fragrance that's like a Tom Ford Lost Cherry, you want to add some more depth to it, make it a little bit deeper, sexier. I think that would be very nice to combine it with. But all in all, really like this fragrance, and it's Vaughn approved. Catch you guys next time. Peace.